Hi, today I want to talk about what I perceive as a problem. The fact that when someone is participating in a long, long projects that can last for months, maybe even years, and you're involved in it, and sometimes, given that probably something that not every stakeholder is able to assess on the technical level by themselves, you don't have a way to assess where you are in this project. And so you have to rely to what people say to you. So maybe people show you slides, people share their gut feelings, and they tell you where they think the project is. So basically they tell you, trust me, the project is going well. And the reality is maybe they share what is their honest opinion. Maybe they share the opinion that is affected by their own optimism. Maybe they tell you what they think you want to hear. Maybe they're afraid to tell you the truth. Maybe they don't understand the truth. And so you get always an opinion that is filtered by someone else. And I think this is dangerous because, this can lead to a situation where maybe the project is not going well, but not everybody is aware of that. So you don't know, you cannot take corrective actions, you cannot, plan for maybe a delay in the project. So that is not the ideal situation. I think that it's much better for all parties involved if there is transparency and a way in which the different parties can have some measurement indicating how the project is going. Now, it is true that measurement has its own problem because, well, someone can select what to measure, and depending on the level of dishonesty of people, of course, they can also, modify the data, but that we're in the sphere of pure dishonesty. So hopefully that is not a frequent situation. So I think that relying on data is much safer than relying on opinion, because you can look at data and you can form your own opinion. And if the metrics are chosen in a way to be, if they're the right metrics to measure progress, then you can form your own opinion, observe trends, you can intervene, you can notice problem, even if when someone is too afraid to share the fact that there is a problem. And so, for example, this is a very simple dashboard that we use in projects involving migrations. Now, migrations, as we discussed other times, we tackle them using a pipeline where there are steps. And the fact that there are steps, it's already something that helps us measuring progress, because we have different metrics for each step. For example, we typically start parsing, and most frequently we start the project with an already working parser. So when we try to parse all the files work, and so we get 100% on this stage from the very beginning. Symbol resolution is trickier because it's complex and sometimes doesn't reach 100% because maybe the client didn't give you all the files, or you encounter some weird aspect of the language. So this is an example in which we can see we are working on bringing down the amount of unresolved symbols, and so in the end we arrive to this value. Then we can measure how many constructs are covered. So in this example, we are starting a migration, and on the day that we measure, out of 119 constructs, we could handle just 2 of them. Not great, just 1.7% of the migrated constructs. But you can imagine having a meeting every 2 weeks, and you see, you are going to see a trend, you are going to form your own opinion on how things are going. Or we can measure the amount of files that have been migrated, or we use what is called a migration plan. So we basically take all the entire amount of files, we divide it in chunks, considering their complexity and their interdependency, and then so that at each point we can have a block of files that can be migrated in isolation because they have no dependency to files we don't have yet migrated. And so we measure how many steps we cover of such plan. In this case, we cover 4 steps out of a 120 steps migration plan. Now, this is not maybe rocket science, but this is about transparency, about putting the information available for all the stakeholders involved to form their own opinion about how the project is going and be able to react to that. So I think it means treating everybody as a stakeholder, as an adult that can make his own decision. And one can make decision only when you provide the information to them. And yeah, so this is something on which we personally make an effort, and we also love when we work with partners that have the same level of transparency with us. So yeah, that is just my message. Let's all try to be a little more transparent and not hide the problems somewhere, because eventually they are going to come up. So it's better if they are, as soon as they manifest, they are on the open for everybody to see and react accordingly. I think in the long run, it makes the life of everybody much easier. That's it for today. Thank you. And as always, if you have comments, ideas, anything, please comment here on LinkedIn, on YouTube, send me a message, an email, whatever. Always happy to continue the discussion. And you also have ideas of other things I should cover. I'm happy to hear them. So thank you, and have a great rest of the summer. Bye.